What am I going to do? Oh yeah, start with a song. Let me know how I'm sounding. Let me know if I'm audible. Hopefully I am. I've moved to the kitchen. As folks may see, there's lots of tea over there, and there's a soda stream there. So, this is the grand tour of the kitchen. Let me know how it sounds and how the connection is, because I know that on last week's sing-song, there were some connectivity issues. And I think that's the location. In the house that I was in, I was really far away from the modem. And the modem now is there. So hopefully we should be all good. So welcome to, hey Brian, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in today. Hi Helen, hi Cynthia. I do apologize for last week's connectivity issues. I didn't know how bad they were until I watched it back afterwards. And there's some pretty rough moments in there. So thank you for bearing with me. So today's session is a lovely chilled out one. It's we're going to do a few tunes, a few mellow tunes, some of my favorite easygoing songs. And then we're going to bring in Clare Langford, my sister, and Lucinda Forth, her business partner. And they're going to do some gentle massage techniques with you guys, a little tutorial, a guided massage session. So if you guys have any stress or tension or physical pain that you would particularly like Clare and Lucinda to talk about, drop that into the comments. They have a kind of a plan already for how their session is going to go, but after that there is time for questions. So if anyone has particular pain, I know I get a lot of tension headaches around the base of my head and up along here, kind of like a, what's the word, kind of locked jaw kind of issue. So throw your comments into the comments. Hi, Sandy the Dude. Yes, I can see your comments. I can see everyone's comments. I am live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And all of your comments come up in one place on the side here. So if you have any comments or questions, let me know. I'm going to start with Philip Cashin really wants some guidance on lower back. Cool. Duly noted. I'm going to start with a Billie Holiday song. This is I'll Be Seeing You. Here we go. I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through. In that small cafe, the park across the way, the children's carousel, the chestnut tree, the wishing well. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's bright and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's bright and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll find you in the holiday song called I'll Be Seeing You. I'm going to do one more song and then I'm going to bring in my special guests and we'll have a look at a few of your questions and issues. Deirdre McCarthy says Carpal Tunnel will be great to look at. So this next song is called May You Always, and the Lennon sisters did it. A few different kind of, you know, those kind of 1950s sister groups will have done this with beautiful harmonies. So this is dedicated to my best friend, Deirdre, aka Steve. Some of you may know her. She's pretty brilliant. I think she asked me to do this song years ago. I'm finally getting around to it. Okay. This is dedicated to all of you as well. May you always walk in sunshine, slumber warm when night winds blow. May you always live with laughter, for a smile becomes you so. May good fortune find your doorway, may the bluebird sing your song, may no trouble travel your way, may no worries stay too long, may your heartbreaks be forgotten, may no tears be spilled, may old acquaintance be remembered and your cup of kindness filled, and may you always be a dreamer, may your wildest dreams come true, may you find someone to love as much as I love you, and may you always be a dreamer, may your wildest dreams come true, may you find someone to love as much as I love you. May you find someone to love as much as I love you. So I'm going to introduce our guests. Get my headphones. Hope you guys are having a nice, relaxing afternoon. This is a nice chance to breathe. It's been a tough few months and a tough few weeks. And in the past few days, of course, we've all been very aware of global happenings. And yesterday was a beautiful day to stop and take stock of, I suppose, anyone who's tuning in who is not Black. It was a nice opportunity to learn, to take stock and acknowledge our privilege, being able to walk through this world without our lives being made more difficult by merit of our skin color. And I personally took the opportunity to learn a lot about what is going on in the world. So today's session is partly in aid of and in support of Lucia and Clare over in London, who are running a massage company, Pummel Knead, which obviously they can't do their work at the moment because their job is a hands-on job. You have to be physically touching someone, and so that's illegal right now. So this is a nice chance to support them in their business. But we're also supporting Black Lives Matter. So half of everything you donate today at the PayPal link, if you're on Facebook, it's up here above me. And if you're on YouTube, it's down here in the description of the video. And if you're on Twitter, it's in the description of the video as well. So do please donate what you can. And half of everything you give will be going to Black Lives Matter, which is an organization that helps at the grassroots of the issues. So I'm going to bring in Claire.
Hello.
Hello, sis.
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. How are things where you're at? You're in Wimbledon.
I am in Wimbledon. And yeah, things are, well, we are in unprecedented, interesting times, the overused words that they are. Yeah, I mean, I'm quite lucky. I'm quite privileged in that we have a garden, so I've got a bit of outdoor space to go to, and we've got nice parks around. So that's good, and the weather has been ridiculously beautiful. But also, as you mentioned, my job has become illegal, so that's slightly problematic. And as yet, we're unsure when.
Which in the past, when you talked about like someone who's a misuse, that would be kind of implying things. Yeah.
But now it's a whole different ball game. So it's really, really hard to social distance when you do massage. Like, we looked into using rakes, using shovels, using sticks to hit people with from a 2 meter distance, but just wasn't flying. So it might be a while before we're back in the field. So what I do is I do massage, which is on site. So I either go to people's homes, or Lucinda and myself, we go to companies and offer massage to people in the workplace, which, is always quite welcome for people who are hunched over a desk all day long. But, with massage no longer being possible, but also with a lot of people working from home, it's unsure as to when that will be really a viable option again. So we decided to start doing online videos so that people who were either still going to work, because a lot of people are still doing essential work outside of their home, but also for people who are working or studying from home or homeschooling. These were just really simple techniques that we thought people might find useful to address some of the niggling pains that they might be feeling.
There's a small bit of a lag between your audio and your video. It's both elements are very clear, but there's a small bit of a delay between the two of them. So I'm kind of waiting. It's like when you watch like a badly dubbed movie and someone is like, yes.
It's kind of like my life then.
Yeah. So yeah, you're working as an English teacher at the moment as well. How is that?
Yeah.
How's that going for you?
There's also a lag there because I'm teaching people in a different time zone. So I'm getting up at 4:30 or 5:30 to teach people who are based in China. So for them, it's lunchtime, and I'm like, oh, give me the coffee. But it's nice. You've got to diversify. That's what we've all learned during this global pandemic.
Absolutely, definitely. I know a lot of creatives who are finding they have to diversify, and you have to you're backed into a corner where you have to figure out the tech side of things, and you have to just get creative with how you reach people. Are you doing anything in the way of theatre? Because I suppose your vocation is theatre.
Yeah, so I'm currently working on 2 scripts, which are for film. In terms of theatre, it'll be a while, I think, similar to yourself with live gigs. It'll be a while before we know how people can actually go to see a live performance. So there is talk of productions being staged, and you can buy a ticket to see a production, and they will only sell as many tickets as many people as would have been able to go and see the production in the theatre. Likewise with filming, anyone who's ever been on a film set will know it's really hard to socially distance. If you're acting, you've got some guy with a camera here and some guy with a microphone or a boom here. You've got someone doing makeup and hair. So people are unsure how that will manifest when we do get back to it. And I think that's something that we'll have to approach with caution. But you can do a lot of the background work. So I'm doing as much pre-production stuff as I can, and we can organize Zoom reads, which is sort of where it seems to be at the moment. Everything is on Zoom, so you can do Zoom reads of scripts and see how they're working. Not the same as being in the room, but we work with what we've got.
It's all you can do. Yeah, I think it's a funny one, because at the moment there's a lot of talk in Ireland about how we can kind of figure out gigs, and like there's like drive-in concerts that are happening now. Dolan's organising them, and it's great. And there's lots of people talking about how, you could just have the artist and people could be stood very far away. But as you say yourself, there is still a lot of close-up contact happening with your technicians. And if you're putting on a show, you're going to have you have to have a team of sound engineers, and you have to have security and all that kind of stuff. So it's an uphill battle, but we'll get there. But anyway,
on the idea of everything that's written now will be set during pandemic, so that everyone who's on the stage or in the show will be really far away from each other, wearing masks. Like everyththing that's written now will be pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a tweet last week where someone was saying, I appreciate the sentiment, I appreciate the good intention, but I don't ever want to see a piece of theatre about this, ever. I don't want to hear about this once this is over. I don't want to hear a song about it, nothing. Rosie Cheeks of Merlot asks which company you're working for. She works for iTutor Group.
Oh, I'm the same. Yeah, iTutor Group. Oh. Yeah. Hello.
And you find a colleague there. All right, so I'm going to let yourself and Lucinda maybe take over now, and you can do your session. People are really excited to relax, so that's good. So yeah, I'll hand it over to yourself and Lucinda. Sorry I didn't get a chance to chat to you, Lucinda. I might do after your session, but I'll take myself out of this for now, and I'll be trying to participate from backstage. So.
Yes. Hello. Fantastic.
Beautiful singing. That really relaxed me to start off with anyway.
Yeah.
Pretty chill. So yeah, Claire's going to talk a bit about breathing, and then I'm going to demo it. We're going to do a really nice breathing technique to start off with before we start with some of the self-massage techniques. So go for it, Claire.
Fantastic. So today, the areas in this session that we'll be looking at, and we will answer some of your other questions, we will be looking at the main tension areas, which tend to be the neck and the shoulders. These are areas where, whether you're really stressed out or whether it's just due to your posture, you tend to hold a lot of tension around this area. So we'll be looking at trying to get those areas loosened up. So before we do that, we thought it would be nice to do a little bit of breathing just to let everyone slow down, relax, and take yourself into a slightly more Zen state, if you like. The breathing technique we'll be looking at is the 2-1 breathing technique. This is something which really helps to kind of lower your anxiety levels. The way it works is you are inhaling and exhaling through the nose. You start off by picking any number. Say you pick the number 2 for the inhalation, and then for the exhalation, you would double it, which is why it's called the 2-1 breathing technique. And what tends to happen when we're stressed or anxious or under a lot of pressure is that our breathing is affected, and then that has an effect on the body as well. So it's a bit of a vicious cycle. So I'm going to hand over to Lucinda, and she's going to take you through some nice slow breathing, which hopefully will get you nice and relaxed and ready for some massage.
Great. So the first thing we want to do before we do any breathing is just make sure we're sat nice and comfortably. If you've got your legs crossed, just uncross your legs. You can even lie down if you want to, just on your back. And just really make sure that you're nice and comfortable, nice and relaxed. And we're going to start off, before we do the 2-1 technique, by regulating our breathing. Because when we're tense, I mean, you can probably hear it a little bit in my chest now, we tend to take these sort of short, very sort of high chest breaths, rather than breathing from the diaphragm, which is where we really want to breathe from. We want to slow it down and try and breathe from the diaphragm. The diaphragm is just sort of above the stomach. So what I find helps is to actually put your hand on the area just above the stomach. And when you're breathing in, imagine that you're blowing up a balloon. And when you're breathing out, imagine that you're deflating the balloon. So it's this idea of just slowing down the whole pace of your breath. So to regulate the breathing, the first thing we're going to do, it's really simple, is we're just going to breathe in for 4 beats and breathe out for 4 beats. Really nice and simple, in through the nose and out through the nose. So let's do that together. So we're going to breathe in. And out. We'll do that again. Nice deep breath in. And out. And one more time. You can close your eyes or just slightly lower your gaze if that helps you just to relax a bit more. So nice deep breath in. And out. If you're struggling, feeling it there, you can also put your hands sort of around your waist and imagine that you're sort of pushing out those ribs just to kind of expand that area again. We're just trying to ground everything, ground that breath. Okay, so now that we've regulated our breathing a bit, we're going to try the 2 for 1 technique. So we'll start with the number 2. So we're going to breathe in for 2 and then breathe out for 4. Now the reason that we extend the out breath is because an exhalation actually stimulates our parasympathetic nervous system. And the parasympathetic nervous system is actually our relaxation response. So we really want to have lots of nice exhalation just to completely relax and ground ourselves. Okay, so we'll try 2 breathing in, 4 breathing out, sorry. So nice deep breath in. Breathe out for 4. Breathe in for 2 again. And breathe out for 4. One last time. Breathe in for 2. And breathe out for 4. And then you can carry on doing the 2 to 4, or you can increase it slightly. So you could do 3, breathing in for 3 and breathing out for 6. And then move up to 4 and 8 and so on and so on. And it's a really nice way just to completely relax the body. And you can do it for as many times as it feels good until you feel really relaxed. But now I think we're actually going to start to move on to some of the massage techniques. And Claire, I think you're going to come back and we're going to do a bit of the neck to start off with.
Thank you, Lucinda. That was great. That's actually it's a really nice technique, and I know when I was doing theatre work, I used to find that really helpful, or before an audition, just something to slow you down and relax you when you're feeling a little bit shaky. So thank you for that. And now we're going to look at some massage techniques to target the neck. I'm just going to start with a couple of stretches which target the side muscles in the neck. So we're going to do a lateral stretch. This is an area that's really problematic when, for example, a lot of us, we work at a desk, or now even if we're not working, we're using devices. So we've got laptops, computers, and you're either down or you've got your head kind of jutting forward, which really puts a lot of strain on this area. And that has a ripple effect by pulling everything else up and creating stress through the shoulders. So we're going to start with a lateral stretch. Try and move my ridiculous hair out of the way. We'll start by moving to, if I can get my left and right together, we'll start by moving to the left, my left. So you're dropping your head down to one side. And while you're doing this, you want to keep the other shoulder nice and relaxed. So what you don't want to happen is that you're dropping your head down and taking the shoulder with you. So a really nice way to keep this shoulder relaxed is you can either grip onto the side of your chair, or you can take your hand and extend it down and think about reaching down to the floor with your fingertips. And then take your other hand and gently pull on your head, if that's comfortable for you, to increase the stretch. And you should feel a nice stretch coming down through the side of the neck muscles. And you can hold this for about 20 to 30 seconds. Again, listen to your own body and then come up. And then with the other side, you drop your head to the other side. And again, try and think about leaving that shoulder where it is, extending the hand down to the floor and taking your hand to add a little bit of extra stretch into the side of the neck. And this is a really good way to get the neck sort of warmed up when you've been static for a long time. And this is something you can do 2 or 3 times, as much as is necessary or comfortable for you. And it's totally normal for the stretch to feel different on both sides, because none of us are symmetrical and most of us are dominant on one side, or we tend to hold our stress or our tension on one particular side. And come up. And just make sure you're keeping that nice steady breathing throughout the stretches and the massage as well. It's easy to go back to the chest breathing. Lovely. So we're going to move on to the self-massage for the neck. So Lucinda will kindly demonstrate. If you've got long hair, like me, it might be a good idea to pop it out of the way. And what you want to do is think about taking your hands, clasping them at the back of the head, and then you're using your thumbs to find the little grooves that are just at the base of the hairline in between the ears and the vertebrae. And gently circle into these grooves and then pull up with the hands and the thumbs. So you almost feel like you're lifting your head up off your neck and you're creating a nice bit of traction through the back of the neck. You can hold this for a couple of seconds and keep circling the thumbs. And then when you've done that, just take the thumbs, or if you prefer the 4 fingers, and start to circle down the side muscles of the neck. So you want to be careful with this as you're circling down, not to drift too far into the center where you'll be touching the vertebrae, and not to drift too far out to the side where you might be pressing on some of the arteries and veins that run around there. So you keep the hands on the soft tissue and you work your way from the neck all the way down into the top of the shoulders and into the trap. Lovely. And again, do this 2 or 3 times. You can be as firm or as gentle as you like. If you've had massage before, you'll know what sort of pressure suits you. But even if you've never had a massage, just always listen to your body. You want to push to the point where you're feeling it, but not to the point where it's painful. Lovely. So once you've done that 2 or 3 times, you can relax the arms again. And we're now going to just try and break up some of the fascia that tends to build up around the neck muscles. So again, you're taking your hands in this sort of clasped position. And if you take them to the back of the neck, you'll identify the bony processes of the neck vertebrae. So you want to move to the side of these bony processes. And then you're almost using your hands like a rake. So you are pulling down through the neck all the way down into the top of the shoulders. And again, do this 2 or 3 times as gently or as firmly as suits you. And you should find that this helps to really break down some of the stiff, knotty areas that we build up around the neck. Okay, so once you've done that, just bring your shoulders up, drop them, roll around, maybe tilt your head to the left and the right, whatever feels right for you. And hopefully your neck should be feeling a little bit looser. So now we're going to move on to the shoulders, and Lucinda is going to demonstrate some really nice stretches and massage techniques for the shoulders.
Great. Thank you, Claire. Yeah, my neck feels lovely after that. I can really feel it in that sort of top area here when you do the clasp up there. You can really feel that tension being released. So that's really good. So we're going to move on to the shoulders. We're going to do, first of all, we're just going to do a little opening sort of relaxation technique for the shoulders, which are little sort of breathing and stretch. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose, and at the same time just bring the shoulders right up to the ears, squeeze, 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 and with a good exhalation, let them drop. You're just letting everything drop nice and loose. We'll just do that a couple more times. So breathe in through the nose, squeezing the shoulders up to the ears, and exhaling and dropping down. And you can even, vocalize that exhalation if it makes you feel a bit more relaxed. And one last time, nice deep breath in and drop. Okay, then we'll just roll the shoulders forward 2 or 3 times and then backwards as well, just to get a bit of mobilization in that area. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to focus on one side, do a little sequence for one side, and then we'll swap to the other side. The reason we don't swap between the 2 sides constantly is because we want to keep one side nice and relaxed and work on that, completely relax that before we swap over. Otherwise you don't get the full benefits of the little sequence. So that the arm that you are massaging, just make sure that the arm that's being massaged is nice and loose next to the body. No tension, not holding it stiffly, just nice and relaxed and loose, so we can really work that whole of this upper shoulder. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to grab or squeeze the fleshy area, the top fleshy area from the base of the neck, and work in these squeezing little motions all the way down the shoulder. And you can go right into the arm, so over the shoulder joint and right into the arm. And we'll do this 2 or 3 times, and this really helps to warm up the area. It gets nice fresh blood into the area, gets everything going before we sort of start to get into those gritty sections. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to pop our fingers in a little pincer position. So we've got 3 fingers and a thumb, and we're going to pick up the top, I don't know if you can see that properly, the top of the trapezius muscle, which is up here, right here. So you're going to pull it forward, not forward, but upwards, and then you're going to traction it down towards your arm. You're going to pull it away from your neck. You've got an up and out movement, and then you're going to slowly rotate your head to the opposite side. And you should feel a lovely stretch through the upper shoulder and going right up into the neck. And we're going to just do that 2 or 3 more times down the shoulder. And the reason we do this is because the upper trapezius muscle, the upper trapezius muscle of the shoulder, actually attaches right up into the head. So this is all one muscle. It attaches into the occipital lobe here. So by working the shoulder and the neck together, you're going to get multi-benefits of all that being worked. Okay, so after we've done our little pincer movements, and again, just to say, you can do it quite firmly, but not so it's really painful. You've got to, when you're doing it, just be mindful that you're not sort of causing more pain than is actually already there. You just want to feel that sort of release, but not sort of be like, it shouldn't be something that's like horrific to do. It should be a nice release. Okay, this is the pièce de la résistance, in my opinion, my favorite move. I'm going to take 2 fingers, and we're just going to do lovely circular motions over the top of that muscle there, the top of the shoulder. And we can go right into the back towards the shoulder blade. Be mindful not to actually massage the shoulder blade, the bone, the area. You might feel some pops and clicks, which will be the sort of soft tissue that's built up in that area, what we call knots. But you want to just be careful not to also massage the bony bits, just those knotty areas. And if you find a really knotty section that's really, like there's one there that I've got here, that's really nasty, you can actually just press down on it, apply some extra pressure, and just wait a few seconds and just let it release. And then circle it again, and that should help to release all of that. Okay, so you can do that again 2 or 3 times. And then the final move of this little shoulder sequence is actually we're going to be working on the front in the pecs or chest muscle. So we often don't think of this front area as having anything to do with why we have shoulder pain. But when we're sitting at a desk, if we're hunched over like this, or anything where we're doing movements like this, even as massage therapists, we do a lot of movement like this. These muscles start to get compressed and they tighten up and they actually draw the shoulders round. So the shoulder muscles all become stretched and overstrained. And so you end up getting a lot of pain in those shoulders. But sometimes it can be because your pec muscles at the front are super tight. So by opening up these pec muscles, you're instantly taking pressure off the shoulder blades and helping the shoulders. So what we're going to do is some gliding, lovely gliding motions from about the sternum up to the armpit. And we're just going to work under the collarbone. So again, not on the bony processes, doing these lovely gliding motions with the fingers. And again, if you find any sort of niggly areas, just don't be afraid to sort of dig in a little bit of circular motion just to try and release that knotty area. Lovely. Okay, give your shoulders a bit of a roll, and now we'll move on to the other side. So again, your arm needs to be nice and loose, the arm that you're massaging. And we'll just start off with the grabbing of the flesh, the squidging, the squeezing. Just to really, you can really go for it. Just dig in there. There. Should feel a nice release. That's good. Okay, and now we'll do the little pincer movement. So we've got the three fingers and the thumb. We pull the flesh up and away from the neck, and then slowly rotate. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Ooh, intense. Pull up again. Be mindful not to grab too much of the front area here, because that's quite delicate flesh. So you just want to really be on that top section, just working that top trapezius muscle that will work the whole of that upper muscle there. So just avoid anything here. And now we'll just start our circles. I'm just going into that circle motion with the 2 fingers, just getting into those knotty areas. And the reason we want to get rid of knots is because, as I said, it's redundant muscle fiber that's usually built up through overuse injury. That's kind of what happens, or if you've had an accident or something like that, and it actually inhibits the length of the muscle. So that means that you don't have as much flexibility in the muscle, you don't have as much elasticity, and your range of movement is impacted. So that's why you can feel very stiff, why you feel like you can't move in certain directions. So we really want to just try and break down this knotty, redundant tissue, essentially. And that's why, as therapists, we work to break down those knots. And it's good to do it yourself as well. It's amazing if you do it enough times that it can really release. Okay, and then finally onto the pectoralis. So again, from the sternum, working your way up towards the armpit. Now we're doing this demonstration with no oil, but you can of course use oil if you would like to add a little bit more of a holistic element to this kind of self-massage. We've actually done a video all about oils. I think it's video 6 of our working from home videos. If you want to look on our Pummel Knead Facebook page, you'll see it there, and it just gives you some really nice oils that you can use, plant-based oils, natural oils that can add to the holistic experience. But all of these techniques work really well without oil as well. Okay, and then finally, let's just bring our shoulders up to our ears again. Breathe in and exhale and let it all go. And just take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Great. That is the little sequence for today. I hope that was helpful to some people, and I think we're going to hand over now to Emma and maybe talk about questions, or Emma might be singing another song, I'm not sure, so I will hand you over to Emma.
Hiya, how's it going? That was great. I'm just popping a link to your YouTube channel into the comments here. Oh, sorry, I have you playing on YouTube at the same time as here, so you're getting yourselves coming back.
Very meta.
Very confusing. That was brilliant. Yes, quite. Cool. Yeah, so I'm looking through your videos here on YouTube. There's 6 so far, is there? Or there's 11 videos online so far.
Yeah.
There's one on neck stretches. There's about desk setup and posture, breathing techniques, shoulder stretches, working on your hands and arms. And yeah, episode 6 is about oils and aromatherapy. So what folks can do from home and what they can buy for themselves to give themselves a more holistic experience. There's loads of brilliant stuff there. So if anyone wants to see more from you, check the link I just put into the comment section there, everyone, and see all the other stuff that the girls have put online and made available for free. They're both incredibly qualified massage therapists, and it's honestly amazing that this is their first time looking for any kind of money for what they're doing. They're lunatics.
Very altruistic.
Indeed. So there was a couple of comments around lower back pain and around carpal tunnel. So whichever you guys want to take first, or whoever wants to
do you
take
want
it.
to have a little talk about lower back pain, maybe?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, lower back pain is a bit of a nightmare, especially, I don't know if this person's working at a desk or what kind of work this person does, but especially if you're sitting for long periods of time in that sort of flexed position, you can get quite a bit of compression in the lower back. So there's a few good stretches that you would want to do. One of them is actually a hip flexor stretch. So basically, I don't know if you, I'm trying to think how I can explain a hip flexor stretch. But it's kind of a lunge. If you want to look it up, it's kind of you're sort of lunging to open up the front of your hip. Because basically, if you've got tightness in your flexors where you're sitting, then that puts pressure on your back. So you might want to look up a nice hip flexor stretch, as well as you can do some really nice glute stretches. But in terms of self-massage for the lower back, you can do what we were doing on the neck on your lower back. So you can circle your thumbs down the lumbar vertebrae, just working either side. Obviously, don't touch the spine. We don't ever massage on the bone, but either side, you can just work slowly down with your thumbs. You can also use a tennis ball. A tennis ball is amazing. So you can actually stand up against a wall and again, pop the tennis ball at the base of your back and just roll that tennis ball up and down the lumbar spine as well, just to ease some of those muscles, just to kind of work it out. A spine roll is really good as well. I don't know if you've done any spine rolls in yoga and things like that, but a spine roll just to open up all the vertebrae and just loosen up the whole of the back area. But I would give a hip flexor stretch if you're sitting a lot. I think if you do a few hip flexors, you might be surprised. The hip flexor stretches are surprised how open the lower back becomes, because again, we often think the cause is where the pain is, but it's often the opposite. So the opposing muscles to the lower back muscles are the hip flexor muscles. So by opening up those hip flexors, you'll just release, a bit like how we were doing with the upper chest, you'll release that lower back. by doing a nice Flexor stretch. Does that help at all? I felt like I was rambling quite a lot, but there we go.
I imagine that was really helpful. I've put in just the words hip flexor stretch into the comments. I can't remember who it was that posted the question, but I'm not 100% sure if they were a fluent English speaker. So I just said I'd throw that in there. Just the spelling of it in case they were not 100% sure what that was, just so they know what to Google. But that was really great. I think the tennis ball idea is really interesting. And also the point that you don't massage bone. I think that's something people need to know about as well.
Yeah. No,
that's great. What are your feelings around foam rollers? Because I feel like people are using them a lot for just kind of stretching out the back and stuff. I know that I've been using it the past week just on my upper back, and I get this kind of percussive clicking sound the whole way down.
Totally.
So is it something you guys both would say is, yeah, I know, that's fine, it's normal. Are foam rollers like recommended? Is that something people might use that would help with that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think like with especially at the moment with not being able to access like physio or massage, it's really important to do whatever you can just to keep things moving. So what you'll find with a foam roller, depending on if it's a normal smooth foam roller, if it's one of the ones that have ridges, so it's got a bit more like almost like a trigger point foam roller, they'll have a different effect. It will never be the same as having a massage because you won't be able to be as focused or as specific with it. But in terms of like I was talking about with the neck, breaking down fascia, and fascia is FASCIA. If anyone wants to look it up, it's quite interesting how that affects your movement. In terms of breaking down fascia, boosting circulation and getting the muscles moving, I think it's a really good kind of technique that you can do yourself pretty easily. I would say, and I think Lucinda would agree, with anything like foam rolling or with stretches, it's a good idea to look it up because often you can have it and just be kind of going, haphazardly at it and not really doing anything, or worst case scenario, doing more damage than good. So look it up, look for like a verified, maybe YouTube video or someone, not an influencer, someone who's actually qualified to demonstrate how best to use it to target the area that you want to focus on.
Aside from yourselves, are there? Oh, sorry, Lucinda. My mute and unmute button, because it just means that there's no interference between us. Sorry, go on.
So I was just going to add to that foam roller thing. Another thing is that people sort of instantly assume no pain, no gain. It shouldn't be really painful. You should feel it, but it should feel like a sort of release pain rather than because if you're tensing, if you're doing anything and you start to tense, it's completely counterproductive because you're wanting to try and relax the muscles. So you're wanting, even when we massage, some people will say, I want it really strong, I want it really hard. And yes, there's a difference between deep and really strong. And with a foam roller can be really painful. So you need to ease into that foam roller quite gradually with the movement that you're doing with it, because you don't want to be tensing, because your aim is to elongate and relax the muscle rather than start tensing, because then you might as well not be doing anything. Anyway, there we go.
Okay. We had another comment, just a question about Maura says she has pins and needles. She said, any tips on pins and needles in knee and pain coming from groin area?
It kind of depends on, there would be a few things to look at, partly how long it's been happening for, if there's any sort of mitigating factor that might have caused it in the first place. As Lucinda said, anything that's happening isn't necessarily what the issue is. It's a symptom of something else going on. Pins and needles can be to do with compression of a nerve, and that can be caused by tight muscles. If it's between the knee and the groin area, it is potentially in the upper leg where the compression might be, but also potentially in the lower back. So I mean, it might be worth, trying to start and finish your day with some gentle stretches and mobilization of the spine and stretching out the hamstrings and seeing if that helps to provide a bit of relief. I'm more than happy, myself and Lucinda could, I mean, if she wanted to drop us an email and we could maybe answer the question. If she wants to give more specifics, she might want to do that on a live feed. If it's something that's going on for a long time as well, I would always say it's worth checking it out with a medical professional, just in case there's anything underlying that might be causing it as well. But trying to stretch out the hamstrings and mobilize the lower back could help with that.
Brilliant. And your email is pummelandknead@gmail.com, is it?
Yeah.
Perfect. I'll just put that in the comments. And I suppose that last question then around carpal tunnel, would you have any guidance around that?
Yeah. Lucinda's muted. There she is. We've got a video which is all about the hands and the arms, which you can look at. Lucinda, would you have any nice demos that you could do?
So we can do, there's one or two things. So obviously, I don't know if you know, but carpal tunnel is where there's sort of inflammation there, sort of in the tunnel, as they say, sort of that wrist. So what we want to try and do is some nice, I can't do it properly on here without, but we want to do some nice flexes and extension stretches just to kind of open up that area. Sorry, I don't know why I'm not showing that properly. This is on our hands video.
Yeah.
But also you can massage again using the thumb. You can, God, I'm terrible handling the screen. You can massage all through the hand, working all through up the arm. God, why am I not good at this? Going all the way up here, in between the two bones. So again, you've got two bones working up here. So you want to just work all the way up here, some nice circular motions. And if you find any niggly areas, just sort of work on those. You can also, to release the whole area, just do a bit of a pull on the hand, just pulling the hand out. But can you see that, what I'm doing there? Just some slight traction on the hand. So that's the flexion and extension movements, just to kind of open up that area. It's also an overuse injury. So with carpal tunnel, one of the main things is you want to try and work out what movement you're doing that's really affecting. And I presume it's maybe something like typing or something you're doing constantly. And if you can rest and maybe not do that movement as often, that will help to ease it. You can work. Would a support help that as well?
It could, depending on the cause. It can be something that crops up during pregnancy. So there's, again, it's always worth looking at what's causing it, because what I always say to people with massage is you can have 3 massages a day, but if you keep doing the same thing that's causing the problem in the first place, it's never really going to disappear. So looking at posture, a wrist support, or if you're at a keyboard a lot, you can get something like a little pillow to kind of give your wrist a bit of support. The other thing is if you take your wrist and about 3 finger breadths down, you've got a little trigger point just here in between the tendons. It feels a bit squeamish actually. But you can press on this little trigger point. This is a carpal tunnel trigger point. So applying a bit of pressure and holding it relatively deep, but as always, not painfully deep, holding that for about 20 to 30 seconds and repeating that a few times might create a bit of relief. And the work that Lucinda did in the shoulder session of working through the upper arm as well, because you want to basically try and ease out the whole shoulder, arm, hand area to relieve that.
Run through the arm basically. So you can work up the whole of the arm, just doing those little circular movements. Again, you can do it quite firmly. But yeah, the main thing is to kind of try and address maybe why it's happening, which is frustrating because we can't just instantly change what we do. But hope that helps a little bit.
It's the nuisance, I'd say, in your line of work that you don't get to see people in person to be able to put hands on and feel what's kind of going on with their bodies, because you can guide and give guidance to a certain degree, virtually, but it's difficult, I'd imagine.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's something that a lot of people are really feeling at the moment, and they would like to have the kind of hands-on experience. But sadly, the government has told us otherwise because of the invisible enemy.
Unless you're Dominic Cummings, then it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, in Durham, we will do massage.
Yeah, there's an incredible like immunity there to
Yeah,
to
especially in the
COVID-19.
castle.
Stunning.
Apparently, it's like its own little bubble where the virus doesn't enter.
Amazing.
Especially if you're short-sighted.
That's how the virus gets you. It only gets people with perfect sight.
Damn it!
Oh, well, I'm fine. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Crafty virus.
Yeah, I wear glasses. I'm fine.
Loads of really lovely feedback there. Loads of people saying that they've really appreciated this today. So thank you so much for doing it. Your contact details are on the screen there. I presume I have them right, do I?
Yep, that's perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
And all of our videos that Emma's posted, they're all up on YouTube as well. So if you wanted to go back over anything, or if there's anything we didn't touch on today, feel free to have a look.
And this will all be available to watch back as well for anyone who wants to watch back. Philip Cashin, who asked about his lower back, said some really great advice and tips there. Thank you. I'm off to Durham. So
Yeah, see you there.
Delighted we've been able to help people. All right, I'm going to leave you girls go. Thank you so much for today. It was amazing.
Thanks for having us.
And I'm sure everyone gained a lot from it. And of course, if anyone wants further advice and guidance, email you guys, check out your website, and don't forget to throw a few quid into your PayPal as well. We are donating to Black Lives Matter today, which is a recommended fund. So yeah, deadly.
Oh no. Okay. Breathe. Stay loose.
Stay loose. All right, I'm gonna I'll let you guys go and I'll wrap up with a couple more songs. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Bye, Emma.
Take care, bye.
Thanks everyone who tuned in. I'm going to finish up with a couple more songs. I'll take the headphones off because they're wrecking my head, so there. All right, so I've got a couple more songs lined up that are some of my favorites to do for chilling out. What am I going to do? Oh yeah, lovely. This is one of Claire's favorites as well. Moon river, wider than a mile. I'm crossing you in style someday. You dream maker, you heartbreaker, wherever you're going, I'm going your way. Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. We're after the same rainbows end, waiting round the bend. My huckleberry friend, Moon River, and me. the same. Rainbows end, waiting round the bend, my huckleberry friend. Moon River and me. Angela Maxwell says, "My lad loves when you whistle. He's all ears. So funny." You know, Angela, you made me so happy knowing that a dog has enjoyed my songs. That is all I needed to know. So today was lovely. I'm going to finish up with a couple more songs. Thank you everyone who tuned in and who supported Pummel and Knead, Clare and Lucinda's business. They're based in London. Clare is my sister, as you may have gathered. And she's been living in London for, is it 15 years now, Clare? I think it's coming up on that now, in Wimbledon. And obviously their business can't do their job at the moment because massage is a hands-on kind of job, but they've very, very generously been putting out videos on a regular basis with a bit of guidance and advice around how you can look after yourself, how you can manage your kind of physical pains and tensions and posture. And so do check them out. I put the link in the comments if you scroll through, and I'll pop it in again actually, just so you don't miss out on that, because it's really, really valuable. Or you can watch this video back as well. It's been really, really helpful. So, oh, that didn't work. Sorry. I'll pop the comment in here into the comments. 13 years here since. Jesus Christ. This link is to a video around your hands and arms and how you can massage them and look after them. But it's part of a playlist on YouTube of videos that the girls released with various tips and advice around self-care, which is valuable. I'm going to do this song now, which is a really beautiful old jazzy standard. This is I Wish You Love. I wish you bluebirds in the spring to give your heart a song to sing, and then a kiss, but more than this I wish you love. And in July a lemonade to cool you in some leafy glade. I wish you health, but more than well I wish you love. My aching heart and I agree that you and I could never be. So with my best, my very best, I set you free. I wish you shelter from the storm, a cozy fire to keep you warm. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you love. My aching heart and I agree that you and I could never be. So with my best, my very best, I set you free. I wish you shelter from the storm, a cozy fire to keep you warm. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you love. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you love. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you love. I wish you love. I wish you love. This next song is one by the Carpenters. Hi, Evan. Hi, Trina. Thank you for tuning in. Very good of you. This is We've Only Just Begun by the Carpenters. We've only just begun to live white lace and promises, a kiss for luck, and we're on our way. We've only just begun before the rising sun. We fly so many roads to take. We start off walking and learn to run. And yes, we've just begun. We've only just begun. Sharing horizons that are new to us, watching for signs along the way, talking it over, just the two of us, working together day by day, together. And when the evening comes, we smile, so much of life ahead. We'll find a place where there's room to grow. And yes, we've just begun. We've only just begun. And when the evening comes, we smile, so much of life ahead. We'll find a place where there's room to grow. And yes, we've just begun. We've only just begun. We've only just begun. What a song. That song is so beautiful. I watched a video of Karen Carpenter singing it live on some show, and it was shortly before she died, and it just breaks my heart when I hear it. I'm going to sing one more song for you guys, I think, before I let you go. Thank you for tuning in today. This is going to be a short one. Really, really lovely to have Clare and Lucinda, aka Pummel Knead, joining us on today's broadcast. They're based in London. They're a massage business who are currently out of business because of the current crisis. And so I'm doing my best to support, independent businesses where I can. And they have been so generous with their time and their energy and their knowledge in putting out videos online all the time. And so do go check them out. The link is in the comment section. Their website is, I'm going to put a link to their website into the description of this video. But if you search Pummel and Knead, their profile picture is their logo. And they have loads of content up online helping you all to look after yourselves and massage yourselves and get rid of any pain and tension. So do check them out. They're really, really great. Hello, Mike Hanrahan. Thank you for joining. Hi, David Woodland. Thank you for joining as well. So this is going to be my last song for this session today. There's no formal Friday virtual sing song this week. Instead, I'm doing this today, and I hope you'll all chip in and be part of supporting an independent business and also supporting Black Lives Matter, who are today's cause. Yesterday, the music industry took a day to pause and reflect and educate ourselves around what's going on right now in the US and what has been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. Nobody should feel marginalized or oppressed or inferior because of the color of their skin or their creed or their ethnicity. In Ireland right now, we have a case of racism in the Direct Provision Centre, and we should be working endlessly to end that system. It is a systemic oppression and racism, and it's not good enough in this day and age that it's allowed to happen. So enough is enough. Here is Feeling Good. And I think the song speaks for itself in why I'm singing it today. The PayPal link is above in the description, so do please chip in if you can. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. Oh, me, and I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. No river running free, you know how I feel. Blossom in a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies are having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this new world is a new world and a new road for me, yeah. And I'm feeling good. Stars when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, that's the way I feel. It's a It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling all right, I'm going to leave you guys go. Philip, yes, there'll be a sing-song next week. Next week on the 12th of June, we're going to have our virtual sing-song back in action with some very, very special guests who I will be announcing very soon. So stay tuned for that post. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, Eugene. Thank you, Evan. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Trina. Thank you, everyone who tuned in and asked questions and got involved. And do feel free to donate, chip in, support a beautiful independent business via PayPal. The link is above in the description of the video. I'll chat to you all soon. Mind yourselves, and